Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a topic that's both heartbreaking and incredibly important: the leak of Charlie Kirk's funeral video online. Whether or not you're familiar with Charlie Kirk, a prominent political commentator and activist, what happened in the aftermath of his tragic death is something that affects us all, especially in the age of social media. When personal tragedies and private moments are broadcast for the world to see, the consequences extend far beyond the person involved. They affect us all. So, how did we get here? What does this mean for our society? And what responsibility do social media platforms have when it comes to managing content like this? Let's dive into it. The world was shocked by the tragic death of Charlie Kirk. While not everyone agreed with his political views, his impact on the conservative movement was undeniable. His activism, speeches, and work with Turning Point USA made him a household name. But in a sad twist of fate, his death didn't just become a political talking point. It became an event that was tragically turned into content. In the aftermath of his passing, as the news spread across the globe, something disturbing started to unfold on social media. While many took to the internet to share their condolences, others began to share footage of Charlie Kirk's funeral, a deeply personal and sensitive moment for his family and loved ones. What was initially meant to be a solemn occasion turned into an event that was exploited for views, clicks, and shares. Let's take a moment and ask ourselves, why would someone feel the need to share such a deeply personal moment like a funeral video online? In today's digital age, it's not uncommon to see graphic or sensitive content posted, whether it's a viral video, a shocking image, or an unexpected news clip. But there's a fine line between sharing information and exploiting someone's death for views or reactions. Ethically, sharing a funeral video crosses that line. A funeral is a private, intimate moment meant for grieving families, not for social media virality. Yet, the fact remains that in today's world, these kinds of moments are often shared without consideration for the family's privacy, and more importantly, without understanding the lasting effects of that content. When something as private as a funeral is shared online, it begs the question of where we draw the line in terms of what should be public and what should remain private. With the advent of social media, privacy has become increasingly blurred, and it's easy to forget that the people involved in these events are real people with families and loved ones who deserve respect and space to grieve. So, how did this happen? How is it that such a private moment, the funeral of a well-known public figure, is being broadcast for the world to see? The answer lies in the hands of the social media platforms themselves. When the video was first shared, platforms like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok became the means through which this sensitive content spread. And as the video went viral, it raised an important question: how much responsibility do social media platforms have in moderating content? Platforms like Facebook and Instagram claim to have strict guidelines against sharing harmful or disturbing content. Yet, when it comes to graphic footage, particularly regarding a death or funeral, there seems to be a gray area. These platforms are often criticized for their inconsistent enforcement of these policies. In some cases, content is removed immediately, but in others, it takes hours or even days, and by then, the damage is done. The video has already spread across multiple platforms, reaching millions of people. This inconsistency leads to outrage, as users feel that social media companies aren't doing enough to protect the dignity of individuals involved in these tragedies. The reality is that social media platforms are struggling to balance freedom of expression with content moderation. On one hand, platforms want to allow users to share information and content freely. On the other hand, they have to prevent the spread of harmful material, like funeral videos, graphic footage, and anything that could be damaging to the person's legacy or their family's emotional well-being. So, where do we go from here? The issue doesn't stop with just the sharing of sensitive content. Along with the viral spread of these videos, we also have the problem of misinformation. After Charlie Kirk's funeral video started circulating online, countless conspiracy theories and false claims about the event began to spread as well. People began speculating about the nature of his death, the true cause of the funeral's exposure, and why certain details were left out or hidden. The speed at which misinformation spreads on social media has become one of the biggest challenges in today's digital world. Even when the content itself is true, the narrative surrounding it can easily be warped or misinterpreted. In a time when we have access to almost limitless information, it isn't easy to discern fact from fiction. Social media platforms don't just amplify content, they also amplify misinformation with disastrous consequences. In this case, the funeral video became a breeding ground for rumors, false narratives, and even attacks on Charlie Kirk's legacy, leading to widespread confusion and further distress for his family. Beyond the legal and ethical issues, there's a deeper concern: the emotional impact that such videos have on the public and the individuals involved. When graphic or personal content like this circulates online, it's not just a news event. It's something that people consume passively, almost like entertainment. But for the family, friends, and loved ones of the person involved, the emotional toll is immense. For those who are directly impacted, the pain is far from over. When you think of someone's funeral being shared across social media, think about the overwhelming grief that family members might experience. The process of mourning becomes a public spectacle. For many, social media's role in this kind of tragedy can trigger mental health crises, not only for the bereaved but also for the viewers who are forced to consume this distressing material. So, what can we do about this? What needs to change in the world of social media? First and foremost, we need to have an honest conversation about the ethical responsibilities of both content creators and platform owners. Platforms like Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram need to take greater accountability in moderating content, especially when it comes to sensitive or tragic events. Better tools need to be in place to prevent the spread of harmful videos, and stricter penalties for users who violate these guidelines should be implemented. We also need to have a more compassionate approach toward how we share and consume information. In a world where privacy seems to be diminishing, we need to remember that there are real people behind every viral video, and they deserve respect, even in the most difficult moments. Thank you for watching today's video. This issue is a complex one, and we're only scratching the surface. But one thing is clear: social media's role in shaping our world has never been more significant, and with it comes a responsibility that we all share. Let's continue this conversation in the comments below. How can we, as a society, ensure that tragedies like this are handled with more care and respect online? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content. Stay safe, and let's make social media a better place together.